Hi, my friends. It's Mr. P, actually in room 6, trying to get it ready for us to all come back. We've been talking about water and colors. We've been doing a lot of mixing and changing those colors and even trying them out on different materials. Things like cotton, paper, and paper towels, and seeing how the colors and the water move and change. Well, we're going to read a book today that kind of continues with that, because this is the water we think of, that we may drink or use in our art activities or clean our dishes, things like that. But water comes in many different forms, and this book is going to talk about that, and you're going to get to see some. So this book is actually called Water. And what do you notice about the cover of this book? Yeah, it looks like the watercolors or paint coming out, not just a regular splash, but a splash of colors. Water is rain. There's different colors here, and sometimes, depending on how the light hits the raindrops, even if the sun isn't out, how it may change the color of how the water looks, the raindrops look. Water is dew. Water is ice and snow. Dew are those little drops of water that you see in the morning on the grass sometimes. Or also sometimes you can even see it at night when the temperature changes a little. And of course, we're starting to see more ice and snow outside. And this is what they think those snowflakes look like, with the different colors and the different shapes of the snowflakes too. Water is high in the sky. What are those things way up in the sky? Clouds, yeah, the clouds. Clouds are made of water. The water goes up into the sky and collects in clouds, and then eventually, when the clouds can't hold anymore, it comes down as what? Rain, yeah. You can also find water deep in the earth. There are underground rivers and springs that if you dig down a well, you can get water to come up. Also, plants and trees put their roots down to get to the water. Water is a tiny brook growing bigger and bigger. You might have a little stream or brook like this near your house where you go to play. And for those friends that have been to Broad Meadow Brook and saw the little bits of water, and sometimes it turns more into a river as it gets bigger and bigger. Water can be a waterfall and mist. When you get a big enough splash, like waves at the beach, you get that misty water in the air. Water is a small pond and a large lake. So you might have a little pond where you go fishing, or a big lake where you take your boat and go fishing too. Water is what fish breathe. They can breathe underwater. Can you even see the fish in there, hiding amongst the colors? Sometimes when you look into water, it's hard to see things because of how the light changes them. We're going to do some of that stuff when we start looking with our prisms and even our magnifying glasses. You'll see how things can change a little, how they look. And flowers drink. Not just flowers, but other plants. And of course, even us humans too, we drink. Water can be a salty tear. Aww. It's so sad. Oh, that would make me sad too. Why does that plant look like it's dying? Yeah, it doesn't have any water. How did you know that? Is there something about the ground? Yeah, all the cracks in the ground. Like the ground gets very dry. Like your skin, when it gets dry, it might crack. Your lips might crack. Your lips might actually look like that. And mommy might put Vaseline or chapstick on them. And also because of the sun beating down on it, it dries it out and cracks it. Water can be a flood. Sometimes there's too much water. This happens around us sometimes in Worcester. Some of the roads flood. It might even happen if you have a basement where the water will come in because the ground is so, what they call saturated. There's so much, it's like a sponge, it can't suck up anymore, so it has to go elsewhere, and sometimes it goes into the road or your basement. Water is a long, winding river. It can go all over. It's not just in our backyards, but other people's backyards. And even right into cities and towns. And then into those houses. Look at all the different places that water is being used in this little area. A fountain, yeah, it's being used in the water fountain. Yeah, the kids are popping the fire hydrant because it must be very hot. Oh, the fire, yeah, firemen use it when there's a fire to put out the fire. Oh, that's one Mr. P has to do, wash his car. And there's a picture up there. They're not actually doing it in the city, but water skiing, going to the beach, drinking water, drinking tea or coffee. Taking a bath, and that plant in there looks well watered, so he must water that too. Hopefully not with just the bath water. So there are so many places that we can use water. And that's actually what we'd like you to do is think about where you see water. Where else do you see water? In your house. How do you use it? What do you use it for? You might have to think a little bit because you're like, well, I use water all the time, but do I really know where it comes from? So think about it. How do you get water that you use? Where does it come from? Now, there's the water that you drink and take a bath in, and that we've been changing with our colors. But how also does water change? You know, in the book it talked about snow and ice. Others are steam and fog. If you have a hot tea or a hot coffee, or the kettle on your stove whistles when it's all hot. Well, when it gets cold, you get snow. Mr. P actually went outside and got a little bit of snow. And when you use your magnifying glasses to look at the snow, you'll actually be able to see the different crystal pieces in there. So think about it. Think about where else you see water. What do you use it for? How does it change? Why do you have to change it? Is it a change like water to ice or snow, or even just the temperature of it? Do you want to take a bath in a cold bath, or would you like it warm? All right? So think about all that stuff. Take some pictures. Before you take the pictures, make sure you ask parents, just because they might not want parts of the home being put on Seesaw. Just double check and have some fun with it, all right? And just remember, it's a snow, so you might get hit with a snowball. Have fun. Talk to you later. Bye.